Doubleheader.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
Yeah, what's good, yo? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for tonight, Patscorpio, the New England representative. And then always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do? LB Lauderdale Boss, aka Shutterworth da Gawd, GOAT artist, ringgangradio.com in the building.
Yes, sir. Ring Gang forever and always, the GOAT artist. You know, and as always, you know, I also got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hey, yo, what up? You already know who this is. Your boy King P, Bodega Box in the building. Let's get it.
Hey, Bodega P, straight from the sewers. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is, man. So yeah, so we're gonna recap. You know, a card that on paper was kind of like ho hum, yeah. You catch it when you catch it, but it actually turned out to be one of the more interesting cards, or probably maybe a top 3 card on ESPN. You know, for sure, and you know, and also yielded a fight of the year candidate in a very unlikely fight too. It was overall. It was a. I mean, I didn't watch it live because I was out at a strip club with my boys. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'd be at strip clubs sometimes. You know, I'd be tricking off some ends and drinking, you know, all types of shit and playing pool. And then, you know, I take my happy ass home afterwards. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's just how I do. And during my activities, you know, I was catching some updates, and people seem to be impressed by this card. So I'm over here scratching my head, like, you know, it's like this. I mean, because
Scooby Doo ass nigga.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a showcase card. Like, I mean, yeah, Carl Frampton and Oscar Valdez in showcase cards. So I'm thinking to myself, like, motherfuckers seem to be enjoying this shit. So I was like, I get home, you know, I'm not ready to go to sleep yet. So I load up ESPN Plus, and I'm like, okay, the first fight that I went to, because that was like the fight of the year candidate, was Carlos Adames versus Patrick Teixeira. Now, on paper, I'm thinking to myself, oh, Adames has an easy path to a title. Now, Carlos Adames, I mean, he's a decent prospect, you know. I mean, he's, you know, but he hadn't been anything special, but he was decent. Whereas Patrick Teixeira, he got knocked out in 2 rounds by Curtis Stevens, you know. So I'm over there thinking like, oh yeah, you know, anyone that gets knocked out by a shot Curtis Stevens can't possibly be, you know, in a competitive fight. So, you know. You know, so I'm over here thinking like Adames is just like, so he got himself a path to the belt. Top rank is, you know, got himself, gonna get himself a new champion. The Dominican Republic will get themselves a new champion. Lord knows they haven't had one in quite a while. Yeah, the fight. That fight was brutal as fuck. Like, you know, sometimes, you know, fighters just will themselves to be like, you know, I want to be a champion, and then they put forth an effort that they haven't shown in their previous fights. Or in my case, the previous fight I actually watched this dude in, and that shit was will. It was will. It was brutal. It was bloody. It was fantastic. You know what I'm saying? LB, man, what were your thoughts on this fight?
I mean, ironically, that's the one fight on the card I didn't get to see, just the highlights.
Oh, the highlights. I mean, the highlights pretty much, they spoke, it told the story. I mean, if you watch it, like, at least the 5-minute highlights, but, I mean, of course,
yeah, it looked like a good scrap, you know, one of those accident, you know, you didn't think it was going to happen type of fight of the year.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And like I said, I mean, the drama started, I think it was in the 3rd round. Teixeira, like, he started bleeding from his left eye, and then, you know, he was bleeding all over the place, and all of a sudden, he's rocking Adames all over the place, and And like I said, it's just basically he was just aggressive as hell because Teixeira was just giving Adames trouble with like the movement and the jab, and Adames was just pouring some pressure on it, and Adames was opening all types of opened up like another cut, and then Teixeira would like fight back with these combinations that had Adames like wobbling, and then that gets to the 7th round. Adames was pounding Teixeira like all around the ring. And the ref was like, you could tell the ref was like itching to stop this damn fight. When all of a sudden, man, Adames got caught with some it was a couple of right hooks and then a left hand to the chin, and sent his ass down to the canvas. I was like, oh,
yeah, that knockdown looked hard as hell, yo.
Yeah, well, yeah, Adames was in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and they got up, and Adames. I mean, I thought he was the heavier puncher, but like I said, the movement and then the angle, like some of the punches that Teixeira was throwing was giving this dude a whole bunch of problems.
Yeah, it really makes me look at Adames like, because he was supposed to be one of those guys that kind of had necks.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think he tired out in the later rounds too. I think besides the knockdown, I think that's what I think cost him the fight. Because like when someone's overly muscular or someone who's probably too big for a division, they cut down a little bit, and sometimes some stamina may go with it. I think that's what happened with him in this particular fight. Because by the final round, Teixeira was clowning dude. Like Teixeira was on some was on some clown prince shit. Like he knew that he had this shit in the bag. And this dude was like,
must be nice.
Yeah, like in
pressing these damn scorecards.
I know, right? Especially on a top ranked card against a top fighter. Yeah,
And you the B side? Well, damn.
Exactly.
That's some supreme confidence.
Yeah, man.
That's Eric Morales switching southpaw against Pacquiao in the last round of the first fight type of confidence.
Yeah, exactly, man.
He's like, fuck it, I got this.
Oh man, but yeah, so like at the end of the bout, I mean, it was a unanimous decision. It was a 116-111, and then two cards gave the fight to Teixeira. 114-113, of course, the knockdown being the cause, for the 1 point, difference. And Teixeira now currently is the interim WBO 154 champion. However, since Munguia, who was the previous champion, is going up to 160, I think, from my understanding, is there's going to be a WBO convention, and then most likely Teixeira is going to be upgraded to the full champion. So, I mean, for all intents and purposes, that was a full world championship bout, and it was good. It's good to see an underdog like that just rise to the occasion, like, because you don't see it too much in boxing all that much. Like undercard that, an underdog that.
Well, no. You see it. It's about getting the credit for doing so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, this Saturday is one of the fights. This Saturday is about that.
Yeah.
getting the credit for beating somebody's ass, and you're the underdog.
Yeah, and we'll definitely get to that fight shortly. But Teixeira though, like, I mean, he erased his that performance against Curtis Stevens away in my mind for the time being. And shit, if I was Curtis Stevens, I'd be like, "Hey, Teixeira, you remember me, right? I knocked you out in 2 rounds, man. How about you give the brother a shot at the title? Try to get that revenge. I'm just saying.
I wouldn't even mind that type of like, let me just defend my title, and see if I could get some get back. Like, I wish more fighters thought of shit, like looked at shit like that.
Yeah, I mean,
the fight's makeable.
I'm sure. I mean, it's not. I don't think Curtis Stevens' phone is ringing off the hook as much, since the Wale on the
Yeah, but then you got to look at who wants to promote it, who's gonna make a card out of it, all of that shit.
Yeah, I mean, Teixeira. I mean, he's a Brazilian. I mean, they could probably put that shit in Brazil and like, hey, let me get a soft touch in, and that's probably one way of doing it. Because I mean, you know, but yeah, if I was Stevens right now, I'd be like, let me call this dude up, man, and see if I can get this, see if I can get one more shot at the belt at 154. You know, but yeah, no, my hats off to him, man. That was a gutsy, gritty ass fight. You know, and like I said, ESPN, it was a type of was having in 2018 regularly. You know, and that was the reason why last year I gave ESPN so much props because they had these type of fights. They were competitive and they were good and they were hard hitting and they were bloody and violent. You know, and that's what it's all about. As I said before, it's all about the fade. And several fades were ran in this fight. So like I said, my hats off to Sheriff for putting in that performance. Now, as for Adamus, like, I mean, he loses his arrow, he goes back to the drawing board. You know, it's just like what went wrong. I mean, isn't he a Robert Garcia fighter too? I mean, I don't do to win.
I think everybody expected him to win that.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know what. I mean, like I said, I mean, my thought is that maybe that 154 is maybe he had a little issues for 154 and affected his punch resistance a little bit, or maybe Teixeira actually hits harder.
He's a big dude too.
Yeah, he is. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe Teixeira just hits pretty hard. You know, it could be. I mean, the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. But that part.
He just ain't as good as we thought he was.
That's also true. You know, so I mean,
and we following it when you have necks.
Yeah, I mean, because Bob, loves his WBO title, so it's gonna be like, so
yeah.
Like, I mean, he probably had plans for that belt too, but nope. Well, Adamus is going to have to go back to the drawing board. He's going to have to try to do something. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe go up a division or something like that. But yeah, but like I said, he's not. I mean, he did give it to Shira though. That's the thing though. I mean, it wasn't like he was getting his ass whooped on some 120, 108 shit.
I mean, they could run it back. Like, the fight wasn't no blowout.
No, it was very competitive. It's just, I'd say it's an upset because, like I said, Adamus was such. Adamus was. I mean, he's been on TV. I mean, you see him like he's been doing this thing.
But if you kind of look at it, like, he's been on that like Gerard like Boots, like the Ennis type of vibe, like like he's bubbling below the surface, and you speak highly of him, but you're just waiting for them to just kind of cross over to that next level where we could really be like, okay, yeah, he an official contender. He got next. He could put a dent at the top. So it's like, it's too pivotal when you fuck up at this moment, man. And the way boxing is now, these dudes don't fight 3 and 4 times a year, so it be taking them 2 and 3 years to build guys' careers back up.
Right.
Basically, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's like, we don't try to condemn these guys, but it's just how they do it, like, just how the sport is.
Yeah.
Case in point, Oscar Valdez. But we'll get to that a little later.
Oscar. Yeah, we have some thoughts on the Oscar Valdez fight, but yeah, no. Teixeira, Adamus, fight of the year candidate, outstanding fight. Full recommendation to go watch it. You will not be disappointed. My half-drunk self was not when I watched it, so thumbs up. And then you got to the main card. Surprisingly, this was Carl Frampton versus Tyler McCreary. No, I think this was the fight that people thought would actually be competitive. I mean,
it was in spots though. It wasn't like Frampton just ain't wipe his ass with dude. Well, he just opened McCreary with them put some effort.
No, Frampton. Yeah, the first half of the fight, I think Frampton and Dude were fighting on even terms. But then the later half of the fight, Frampton showed his class.
Like, he looked like he was having fun. Like, he couldn't wait to fucking be back boxing. Like, I thought Frampton looked good, probably the best he's looked in a while. Yeah,
he lit Dude up with them body shots. Like, McCreary's he's a tough kid, man. Like, he went down with them body shots, so you can tell.
McCreary McCreary didn't look good in the last 2 fights he was in much lower competition. I knew he was going to get his ass beat. Really, so.
Yeah, but you were hoping that because he had the physical advantage, but you were hoping that maybe you put it all together, or maybe would give Frampton some trouble. But
because didn't he rock Frampton late? Like
he rocked him with the body shot late.
Because whenever dude pressed forward and threw hands, it's like he was giving Frampton problems, but he wasn't doing it. It was like I was watching, and ironically from Ohio, so I felt like I was watching like a Broner Easter hybrid, talented guy holding his hands back, all the advantages in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think the body shots, the body work that Frampton was landing, I think took some of the fight out of him. So I mean,
even before that shit started going, like a lot of these guys ain't assertive, man. Like that's what killed me in boxing sometimes. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to wait and fucking counterpunch.
So you basically thought he was fighting too cute.
He was. Mm-hmm. You the young person, like. Frampton hasn't been looking great in his last fights like that, and now you're the guy who's responsible for making Frampton look good again.
Mm-hmm. With one hand.
With one hand, yeah, because Frampton hurt his hand too. That's another thing. Damn.
I think it was like the third round or something like that. I can tell, like the way he like threw the shot, and he like was wincing a little bit. I'm like, oh, he hurt his hand a little bit, but he kept pushing through. But still,
Yeah, I mean, Frampton, he's a soldier for that. And I mean, and if that hand probably wasn't bothering him, he probably would have gotten the knockout. I think that's just my opinion on that. But but Frampton, what's that?
I was saying he damn near had it this way.
Yeah, he did. But it went the distance, and Frampton wins a decision, and now it puts him in the line for a title shot with Jamel Herring, which should be an interesting fight per se. I know they're trying to make that for like sometime next year, and I know Herring was out there at ringside scouting and whatnot, so. Hey, I mean, like I said, that's how the fights get made. McCreary, hopefully he learns from this fight. I mean, he got beaten up, but not badly beaten up. So, maybe it's a learn lesson, like I said, like LB said, learn to take the fight to someone, stop being cute and all that. So,
yeah, stop talking shit on Instagram. Fuck out of here. I really don't like the guy.
So
he pops too much shit on Instagram.
So do be clout chasing on Instagram?
Instagram. Yes.
Oh damn.
So maybe if you spent more time, applying your craft instead of popping shit on Instagram, you wouldn't look like shit in the ring. Fuck out of
here. Well, damn. Tell them how you feel. Yeah, I mean,
but a Frampton Herring fight, it's not a bad fight, but I guess it depends on which Frampton are we getting and which Herring are we getting.
Facts.
Yeah, I could agree with that. It's a decent fight if both come through and they do what they're supposed to do. But now with the injury, I don't know when this is gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're trying to make it for like March or April, but yeah, I think it really all depends on what the extent of the injury is to the hand. If he broke another bone in there, then obviously it's gonna probably be postponed a little bit. Usually when fighters start having hand issues, it's like the beginning of the end sometimes. And
Frampton been out there for a minute though.
He has. And it wasn't like his hand injury was caused on some fluke accident shit. It wasn't like it was like boxing or anything like that. It was fluke accident shit. That gave him the original hand injuries. But obviously, I don't think boxing helps it any more.
Nah.
Yeah. So So, yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, Frampton Herring is definitely a good fight. It'd definitely be a good main event for our card next year.
But I feel like Frampton Valdez could be a good little scrap too.
Oh man! So that's a perfect segue into what the main event was, and Oscar Valdez, and this is where if there's someone who I thought that really did need a showcase fight, it's this dude. Like, now the tale of Oscar Valdez, it's an interesting one. I mean, dude is Mexican to the bone when it comes to fighting. He's hardcore Mexican to the foot. So, dude is all action, But if you've watched like his last prior, his I wouldn't say the last 3 fights. I mean, the 3 fights that end up with him, of course, getting the broken jaw. Like, you can tell that dude was just literally taking off his career years. Like the Mariaga fight, and then what we call the random unknown Asian, the Vanya fight, where he gets dropped, and then Quigg fight where Quigg didn't make weight, but he goes on to fight him anyway and takes an absolute bashing in half. From an overweight Quigg, and ends up with a severely broken jaw and a busted hand. So I mean, dude has been put through the ringer, and then I even said to myself, like, okay, yeah, like, give this dude some soft touches in the wars with all types of people, and not necessarily the elite in this division, at least, So yeah, he had his showcase fights at 126, and then when he was on the verge of having to defend his belts against Shakur Stevenson, he moved up to 130.
Yeah, see, this would it come down to that, when you fucking around with your career trajectory, and you kind of try to force certain movements or fights or paths that really you shouldn't even try to force. You should just kind of let it happen organically.
Right.
And it happens a lot. You see that a lot with the top ranked fighters, man. For some reason, you'll see them like on the path with another fighter, and then somehow they go down a different path, and the fight don't come out, and the guy ends up being not the same. I mean, Gamboa, Juan Manuel Lopez, perfect example.
Right.
Yeah, that's because fucking Bob Arum is the boxing version of fucking David Stern. We're supposed to get good fights, and then he mixes them. Why? Boxing reasons. Just like David Stern mixes trades in basketball for basketball reasons. Oh, hey, Bob Arum, why don't we get this fight? Boxing reasons. Fuck out.
And that's the thing, is like he makes certain fights happen that you expect to happen. He'll make them happen fine. But then there's others, and it's like, damn, like, why you fucking this one up, bruh? Like he gave us Rios and Alvarado one time.
Right.
But he couldn't give us Gamboa Rios, which would have been an even better fight, bigger fight.
Mm.
Like around that time, there was a whole bunch of fights, even cross promote. Like we should have got a Rios Broner fight.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, that would have been a crazy promotion. Like both of them, like, and with Oscar Valdez, it's like, dude's a good fighter. It's just, it takes him too hard to win clean.
Yes.
Like all his fights are like 116, 112, but they're hard 116, 112.
Yeah.
They're hard 115, 113.
That's why I could personally never rock with him. He struggled too much to fights that he shouldn't be struggling with.
Yeah, and it's like you're not fighting, you're fighting like fringe contenders, dudes who, they might give you a couple hard rounds, they'll be on the level, they world class, but on the lower end of the spectrum where you should be kind of dominating them more.
Exactly.
Taking less punishment.
And because of this, it's subsequently made him must-see TV, but not for the best of reasons. Because it's like, I mean, when you see him, like, okay, this dude's gonna get hit, he may knock somebody out or whatever, but the dude's gonna come to fight. But like I said, in this particular case, well, his original opponent was, I think, Andres Gutierrez, who for somehow went through the whole, because it was a WBC thing, I guess, went through the whole weight checks, but had his last weight checking was like 133, which is like 3% of 130 or whatever. And then motherfucker comes into the ring, weighs in at 141. It's like overnight he just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna drink and eat to my heart's content. Fuck we all gotta do that about it." So the nigga was like, 140.
Thanksgiving was the other day, bro.
Yeah, it was too. Like he couldn't resist that shit. Like, nigga had no self-control. Like there was no salad on the table, nigga. You can't eat some salad. Can't dip some lettuce in some water.
Something.
He was on that Solito game plan.
Yeah. Like he didn't give a fuck.
But it's like you fucking up your own bag that way, though.
Oh, I mean, if it's 1 or 2, 3 pounds, okay, it's unprofessional. But 11 pounds just means you just said fuck it. So
11 pounds is not even trying. Like, damn.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure dude is probably blackballed now. But Top Rank probably, if they were planning on using him in the future, not anymore. Yeah,
he'll be in the future. Like, he'll be on the same card as that one guy who damn, as soon as he fucking the fight started, he just walked out the ring.
Curtis Harper.
Yeah, he'll be on the card with him in the future.
With
that bullshit, wasting niggas' time and hard-earned money and resources. Nah.
So they had to look for a replacement opponent. So they managed to pull someone who was already on the card. Probably I think on the non-televised part or whatever, Adam Lopez, who is a featherweight. So there was a rehydration clause in place. So they allowed him to, of course, to fight at 130 for I think what I believe was going to be the first time. So I'm over here thinking to myself, oh, so Valdez got an easier soft touch now. So I'm not thinking to myself, oh, this is going to be nothing. Valdez is going to get rid of this dude, and and that'll be it. That wasn't it. There was
the curse of the late replacement.
Yeah, curse of the late replacement indeed. And
being better than your original fight.
Yeah, and then of course on top of Valdez's actual issues, because that second round, like when dude let the hooker cut Valdez, I was just like, whoa. I mean, that shit was clean, and Valdez didn't even know like what hit him. Like dude hit that shit mad like crazy. Like he didn't know what the fuck. He's like, what did I just get hit with? And he was unsteady as fuck too when he got up.
Like he was legit hurt. Like that was a good little knockdown. No cap. Like that shit came out of nowhere, but it didn't. Like because Lopez was already putting hands on him. Like Lopez could box his ass off.
Yeah, because that's another thing too. Like even after the knockdown, Valdez did what he tried to do. Valdez is very one-dimensional in his attack, so he tried to put the pressure on the dude. But Lopez was giving him that lateral movement, and this is a good lateral move, not
with a hard, crisp jab.
Yeah, not the lower.
Wasn't just moving to move.
Yeah, that's low. That's the shit that LB hates. But dude was lateral movement, solid jab and landing punches. But Valdez, was trying to, move forward again, trying to land. But Lopez showed him some angles, and Valdez could not land his left hook, and he was just catching stupid work.
Overhand rights.
Yeah.
Smashes, all of that shit, hard jabs. Like I thought Lopez was handling, Valdez pretty handedly.
Yeah, like I mean, it wasn't.
I thought he was winning shit.
Yeah, I did too. I think maybe I gave Valdez maybe one round, and that was probably maybe the first round. I think.
Yeah, is the first one or the one he got the knockdown in?
Right, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I thought he was getting hands put on him. And this is supposed to be his third fight after the Quig fight, right?
Yeah, this is the third fight. This is his 130 debut, and he's facing someone who's also a career featherweight, but moved up for this fight.
And there was a connection in this fight. Like Valdez is he was trained, or he worked with Lopez's father.
Yeah, who's also a former fighter too.
So you had all the makings. Like, honestly, I feel like this should be promoted for a motherfucking rematch.
Agreed.
Yeah. Agreed.
Like, you could really go hard with this.
Especially after the fuckery that happened, you know, because now at this point, you know, I think everyone could see that Valdez was probably in trouble. So, you know, so you can see the ref was probably on some, you know, the ref was like, you know, he was waiting. It was like, he's like, oh my God, you know, I got, you know, Aaron, you know, old man Aaron, if I don't stop this fight for Valdez, you know, he's gonna blackball me. So you can see him.
Russell Moore strikes again.
Yeah,
Thank you. King P, real shit. Russell fucking Mora, man. Like, for some reason, he get his hands into these fights and he be fucking them up, man. Like,
yeah,
like he this generation, maybe Richard Steele or some shit. Like,
yeah, I mean,
always fucking up a fight.
At this point, I'd put him worse than Richard Steele, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, he is.
Yeah, no, Mora is a piece of shit ref. You know, there's no question about that. I mean, I still
him, Lawrence Cole, another one.
Lawrence Cole's just incompetent, but
Russell Moore is just like, I can't explain it. There's no reason why he should be that bad and getting these kind of fights.
I mean, dude, verse like he actually bets money on this shit too.
Yeah, like, and this is the thing, he comes across as credible and intelligent and shit, and he move around the ring the right way, like, but it's just, the execution of it is just terrible. Like, he always fucking up fights, man. God, like,
Yeah,
I mean, Lawrence Cole just seemed like he's just out of his element. Yeah, he's trying his best, but he just fucks up anyway. Like that one cousin or nephew you have that, you know, he the fuck up in the family. Everyone always try to help him out, but he just fuck it up.
Yeah.
Get this nigga a job. He fuck it up. You say, look, man, just all you gotta do is just watch this person for 10 minutes. Come back, your kid missing. It's like one of them dudes, man. Like, you just like, fuck, like, he's a nice guy.
Yo, Pat, it's funny, Pat, because you know how, you know, in football, you know, you have quarterbacks, and they always say, like, there's the phrase of, he looks the part of a quarterback. Well, fucking Russell Mora he looks the part of a referee, but he's so goddamn incompetent. Like, I'd expect this from fucking Robert Byrd. I don't expect this from fucking Russell Mora.
Yeah, you know.
At least Robert Bird's like old too, like.
Yeah, you know, but yeah, Bird doesn't have, you know, he's losing his faculties, you know, so you can tell, like,
he still don't, and Bird don't be fucking up as much as Russell Mora either.
Exactly.
So it just really look bad.
Yeah, you know, but yeah, Mora definitely, you know, he inserted himself. I think it was in the 7th round or whatever, where Valdez finally was able to land that left hook of his in the right hand, scored a knockdown. And Lopez, he got up. You know, he was good though, but he was kind of leaking and shit. And then Valdez cracked him again. And
the tide was turning ever so slightly.
Yeah,
but Lopez was still in it, still game, still defending, still cognizant. You know,
trash ass fucking stoppage. Let's call it for what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I was saying all of this shit, just so one of y'all could interject and say trash ass stoppage on some ad lib shit.
He was looking. It's like he was looking for a reason to fucking stop it. Like, okay,
look,
perfect.
Bruh, he even said this shit. Dude said, "Oh, you gotta show me something." And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, show you what, nigga? Like, he's defending. He's on the ropes, moving his head. Like, this ain't Calzaghe, man, Fredo.
Yeah, right. You know, he's not covering up and shit, catching work.
Yeah, I didn't see no Marvel versus Capcom 35 punch combination against a guy on the ropes.
Yeah, right. You know, so I mean, so because it was so quick. I mean, pretty much everyone. I think I read on Twitter, whatever. Everyone was like bullshit. Yeah, and that's what
fucking
it was.
Bradley at the fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout outs to Tim Bradley, the Hall of Famer, who you know he came through on some Teddy Atlas shit, crushed the buildings, and let it be known that stoppage was trash and fucking horrible. Mm-hmm. Even though Andre Ward tried to play good cop, bad cop, and be, you know, understanding. No, fuck all that. I ain't being understanding with that shit.
But the funny thing with Ward, though, is I mean, later on in the tweet, he said, because I mean, right now, because of Valdez winning that fight, he you know, he has a shot lined up with Miguel Berchelt, and he said he says, Oscar Valdez and Miguel Berchelt will not go a distance. No shit. Like, and then just take it back to Valdez. Like, there's nothing. Valdez is clearly something is wrong. Like, I mean, this dude is broken.
I've said this for a minute. He's not like well, I said once he moved up to 130, it's over for him. Like he was catching work at fucking featherweight. Now you expect me to believe he's gonna come up to 130 and everything's gonna be honky dory? Nah, fuck out of here. You're gonna catch work. You're gonna catch even more work.
His punch resistance is I don't think it's the same.
Yeah, no, like I said, because like I said, the fights he had as featherweight champion, they took his toll. Like the quick fight, I think it was a wrap for his punch resistance, because dude will probably never take a really good punch like that again. Like, I mean,
not from no world class, full fleshed out, solid junior lightweight. Like, nah.
I mean, Berchelt
Lopez was hurting him.
Yeah, exactly.
His ever since fucking Mariaga, it's been fucking downhill from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, after the Mariaga fight, Valdez needed to be in some meaningful fights.
Mm-hmm.
Fights that could raise his profile, guys that are bigger names, world class, that could offer bigger paychecks. I see what they were trying to do with the Scott Quigg fight. That was a bigger name, bigger profile. Quigg had a good fight with Frampton. So, okay, I get that, raising his profile, but, you know, the overweight shit, all of that happened. And then it just... Valdez also just takes too much punishment in his fight. So, that was just two bad things happening at the same time. So, that just made the situation worse. But, yeah, how many fights after was the Quigg fight after the Mariaga fight?
2.
2.
Yeah. So, it was Mariaga and then the unknown Asian Savannah who actually knocked him down.
Yeah, that was a good fight too.
Yeah, that was the one where I said if Valdez didn't make the adjustment that he did mid-fight, because he was going to war to do it and he was losing the war.
That's why I said after Mariaga it was all like downhill, and you noticed like the fucking decline afterwards. It was never the same.
Yeah, because Mariaga was hitting him too much and too hard. You know,
and we seen Mariaga already.
Mariaga can crack.
He could crack, and he's world class. But if, like I said earlier, if you're supposed to have necks, if you're supposed to be that dude, you're supposed to beat a Mariaga.
Mm-hmm.
Not struggle for 5 rounds. God damn.
Yeah, especially when you have the pedigree and the speed advantage and all that. That's the thing. It's like, and Valdez has to work too hard, man. Like, he don't have that damn cruise control gear where he could still outbox you and take less punishment. So,
and you think,
his whole career should have been different after the Mariaga fight.
I mean, even with this change, with going with Canelo's trainer and everything like that, you think you see a change, and there's none. Like, there's nothing that he's changed that I can think.
Bullshit, nigga, come on, nigga, that was a big ass change. Fuck out of here.
Oh man, I mean,
you see that plot arbor?
What is it with now I think about it, what is it with Mariaga and fucking him fighting people and then their careers go fucking downhill? Because fucking Walters fought him and then that was the end of that. Like, fucking, it seemed like it was just all downhill from there. And then Valdez fights him and then you just see deterioration of the chin. Like, god damn, Mariaga's like a curse or something.
I mean, Mariaga did fight Lomachenko afterwards, and he's probably worn down by himself by all them wars too. And that's why
Lomachenko ain't look spectacular like that again afterwards either.
That's true. That is true.
The crawler don't count.
Yeah.
Get the bonus level on Street Fighter when you beat up the car don't count.
Yeah. Nobody cares about Toyota Corollas.
You niggas is ruthless. Yeah. Oh man, but no, Valdez, like, and then the thing that even shocked me more was when them scorecards was read. Like Lopez was ahead on one card by 1 point, but he was trailing on two of the other cards, one by 3, the other one by 1. So I'm just thinking to myself, what the fuck were the judges watching? Now, 57-56 was close, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, personally, I didn't see it. I didn't see a 57-56 for either way. I saw. I mean, if it was a 58-55, it would have been for Lopez, not for no fucking Valdez.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
It's called having your top rank in the back pocket, like of the judges. It's terrible. Yeah. I didn't like those scorecards at all. But
yeah, no, I did. I mean Lopez, to his credit, I mean,
you wanted the Canelo DLC pack. Now you complain when he got it. You think because Canelo Golden Boy that shit don't rub off?
Hell no. I mean,
got the scorecards, got the Russell Moore stop bullshit stoppage. He got the whole package. He got the deluxe. Like damn, like they pulled out all the plot arbors. Like hold on, wait. If we killed the main character on the damn episode 2, how we gonna run 8 more episodes?
all that and dude still was on the verge of probably getting stopped at some point in the fight.
Yeah, but Lopez was on another level. Like honestly, it was one of those fights where Lopez would have to get clipped to lose.
Yeah, in which unfortunately he did get clipped. That was the unfortunate part.
But I mean, clipped as in like knockout, not clipped. Okay, I get up on some Tyson Fury shit, regain my composure, still hanging tough, but then the ref comes in and be like, all right, cut that out, guys. Fucking Superintendent Chalmers ass nigga, get the fuck out of here. You breaking up the damn fight, bro. Shit, let that shit go. Like, I mean, I know we've had boxing deaths and all that shit, but look, man, what's a trash stoppage is a trash stoppage.
Yeah, and that was a bullshit ass stoppage. So Valdez at this particular point, honestly, I'm Burchell will knock him out, and it will be a brutal knockout.
Yeah, they really feeded him to the slaughter. Like I'm telling you, the Frampton fight's a better fight, man.
Yeah, they're not gonna, Yeah, Valdez. I mean, Valdez has a soft touch, but he needs a more convincing victory over somebody.
There's no more soft touches you can get.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he's run out of soft touches. No more.
This was too much. Look, this soft touch was so much that the boxing gods had it where they did the damn late replacement PBC curse.
Yeah.
And they had the fucking replacement be better than the original opponent.
Yeah.
Like even the boxing gods were tired of the bullshit and was like, yo, man, look, we gotta have him fight him up. You gotta fight a real dude now. Like, but hey, how about this Lopez kid? He's a featherweight. This is enough. That'll work. I'll allow it. Come through Lopez, damn, has a fucking career performance and fucking get cheated, man. Jeez, that shit just bothers me. God damn.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's just like, Valdez shouldn't be struggling with this. Lopez should have at least been able to get a chance to actually continue and actually try to end the fight on his terms. It was just, the fight was interesting for all the wrong reasons, really. And like I said, Valdez at this particular point is just like, I think I was telling LB, I was like, dude, probably has no more than 3 years left in the sport.
3 years? What? Not? I hope not at the Adam Lopez level.
I don't know what level. I'm thinking either overall or maybe as a contender. I mean, I think his prime is already going. It's not like it's like, dude has damage he's not going to recover from, ever. So it's just only a matter of time of who's going to be the one to actually put him away. Yeah. But I don't see a long career for him unless he wants to turn into an infamous Mexican journeyman. They be having some wild ass, 66 wins and 30 fucking losses and shit like that.
17 draws.
Yeah, exactly, nigga. So it's just like
Valdez is the perfect example to show young guys, fighters out here, you know, that defense is important.
yes.
And I know people look at Valdez like having good, solid defense, but just in the fight, and Bradley pointed it out, dude get these Sergio Mora tendencies where he goes crazy with the fucking defense. And he's not doing anything. He just keeps moving. And you see Regis Prograis does that a little bit too.
Right.
And if you just stay close on him and just pump out a jab, you can keep putting hands on him, and that's what Lopez was doing. So again, you know, you can have good defense. Isn't about the movement and how you defend and the technique you're using, the skill you're using to evade punches. Defense is also knowing when to defend as much as how to defend.
Right. Facts.
And Valdez was moving around and like nigga, like this dude, like come on, like stop all this fucking head movement, put your hands up, throw the fucking jab, counter something, bro. Like, like cut this, you know, let me do damn 15 different fucking Pernell Whitaker impersonations and shit. Like damn, like I mean, it sounds like me being hard on dude, but look, man, it's a hard sport.
Yeah, it's a hard sport, and then it's sad because you can pinpoint his deterioration as a fighter. You can like it's in like full display. That dude is probably washed very soon. A couple more of them wars, you know, he's gonna be washed.
A couple more of them Adam Lopez's.
Yeah. You know, it's not.
He ain't supposed to be, you know, featherweight ain't supposed to be moving up, putting hands on you like that.
No, not at all.
Like, and talk about like the underdog performances this year. This was like on some Otto Wallin shit, but like even worse to me. Because Wallin had you know, he put that nasty cut, and you know he put hands on Fury, but Fury still clearly beat dude.
Yeah, that's extremely true. Whereas, like I said, Valdez did not beat a motherfucking thing. Not one fucking thing. You know, so...
Yeah, he beat this level in his career, I guess. Had to use a couple cheat codes, and not one, a couple.
Right? Oh, Game Genie ass nigga, man. Damn.
It was Game Shark ass. Game Shark Valdez.
Game Shark Valdez. I'm done.
Oh,
That's it. Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, like I said,
Nothing else you can say after that.
Yeah, like I said.
ABACAA.
Yeah, the blood code. That's the pure blood code shit right there.
What's the knockdown code? What's the Russell Mora code? Up, down, left, right. Let's start. AB.
Triangle.
Triangle.
Oh man. But yeah, it was interesting night of boxing, man. All three fights were entertaining as fuck. And like I said, if you haven't seen it, you know, log into ESPN Plus or go to YouTube or you know some other tube sites and catch some fights. So yeah, I mean, do we have any final thoughts?
Oh man, nah, y'all just Ring Gang forever, Ring Gang Radio for life. PJ Seminar, you know, December 29th, the last Sunday of the year, of the decade. Jordan on Spotify, Romantic on Spotify, Gold Artist on Spotify. More and more fly shit on the way.
That's what it is. You know, P, do we have any final thoughts?
Yeah, you know what it is. The usual. Long live boxing. Long live Ring Gang. Subscribe, follow everything. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all that. The content is fire. Nobody can get better. So nobody can give you anything better. So you already know what it is. So
that's what it is.
So
yes, and I echo the thoughts of these two gentlemen as well. And also, you know, like I said, you know, Saturday is a huge boxing day. So yeah, I mean, we got the Zone, we got PBC, and we have an ESPN Plus doubleheader, a Mexican doubleheader too. Don't forget, so we can't forget. It's gonna be, if you're like me, it's gonna be a long day of boxing. And I might be all boxing out, or I might be on a boxing high, or both. Who knows?
It's like a boxing holiday.
Yeah, it's exactly. So yeah, just make sure you don't forget all that. Prep for get prep for what's gonna be a hell of a weekend for boxing.
Hopefully, Christmas doesn't come too early.
Facts.
Although, I mean, it already got here from Valdez.
Oh god!
He's just like, damn, what more? Let it go.
It was just right, LB. It was just right. Oh shit! So for myself, Patscorpio, the New England representative. For LB Shutterworth da Gawd. Go artist for King P, Bodega P. This was another wonderful episode of Real Talk, where, as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. So until next time, peace.